The Galactic Council's arena fell silent as Elsie stepped onto the crystalline floor, her boots making soft thuds against the energy-dampened surface. Around her, thousands of alien spectators leaned forward in their seats, their various appendages twitching with anticipation. Some chittered. Others hummed. A few made sounds that human ears weren't designed to interpret. Elsie rolled her shoulders, feeling the familiar weight of Earth's gravity training in every muscle fiber. She was small by human standards, barely 5'4", and positively tiny compared to the galaxy's warrior species. Her brown hair was tied back in a practical braid, and her dark eyes scanned the arena with the calm assessment of someone who'd grown up dodging wildlife that could kill with a casual swipe. Across from her stood Krathok, a Vraxian champion who'd won 43 consecutive matches. He was 8 feet of armored scales, razor-sharp claws, and bioengineered combat enhancements. His species had conquered 12 systems through martial prowess alone. In the observation deck, Tabi watched through reinforced glass, his hands pressed against the transparent aluminum surface. His friend, his best friend since the colony days, looked impossibly small down there. "Your human will die quickly," Ambassador Velthar said beside him, his translator converting the clicking sounds into flat, emotionless English. Perhaps that is a mercy. Krathok does not enjoy prolonged victories. Tabi didn't respond. He'd learned that arguing with aliens about human capabilities was pointless. They never believed until they saw. The problem was simple. Earth was classified as a Class 12 Deathworld, the highest rating in the known galaxy. Its gravity was crushing. Its weather was apocalyptic. Its wildlife was nightmarish. And its dominant species, humans, had evolved in constant warfare with everything around them, including each other. But the galaxy had seen Earth's records, watched the footage, analyzed the data. They'd concluded that humans were survivors, yes. Adaptable, certainly. But fighters? Real warriors? The consensus was clear. Humans were too soft, too weak, too emotional. They'd survived their planet through cleverness and tools, not through any physical superiority. Elsie had tried to explain it once, after a few drinks at the station bar. "We're not the strongest," she'd said. "We're not the fastest. We don't have armor or claws or venom, but we're the most stubborn sons of bitches evolution ever spat out." The starting klaxon sounded. Krathok charged with the speed of a maglev train, claws extended, planning to end this in one strike. It was his signature move, the overwhelming blitz that had broken stronger opponents than this fragile primate. Elsie didn't run. She didn't even flinch. At the last possible microsecond, she dropped and rolled, letting 8 feet of armored death pass overhead. As Krathok's momentum carried him forward, Elsie's leg swept out, targeting the weak point behind his knee, a vulnerability she'd noticed during his previous matches. The Vraxian stumbled. Not much, just enough. Humans had a saying about fights. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. The galaxy was about to learn a corollary. Everyone has advantages until a human finds the weakness. What followed wasn't a fight. It was a systematic dismantling. Krathok had strength. Elsie had 3 billion years of predator evolution coding her instincts. Every time he swung, she wasn't there. Every time he lunged, she'd already mapped his trajectory and moved. She didn't try to match his power. She redirected it, using momentum and leverage in ways that Vraxian combat doctrine didn't account for. Because Vraxian combat doctrine was based on matched opponents. On strength versus strength, humans didn't fight fair. Humans fought to win. Elsie targeted joints, pressure points, the gaps in natural armor that every species had but few thought to protect. She used the arena itself, bouncing off walls, using elevation changes. When Krathok tried to corner her, she went through his guard instead of around it, too small to effectively target with his powerful but less maneuverable claws. In the observation deck, the assembled dignitaries had gone silent. Ambassador Velthar's mandibles hung open in an expression of shock his species rarely displayed. "Impossible," he whispered. She's not enhanced. No cybernetics. No genetic modifications. She's baseline biology?" "Yeah," Tabi said, unable to keep the pride from his voice. "Welcome to the Deathworld." The fight lasted 7 minutes. When it ended, Krathok was on the ground, conscious but unable to continue. Elsie stood over him, barely breathing hard, her stance still ready despite the obvious conclusion. The arena erupted in chaos. Bets were argued. Recordings were reviewed. Medical teams rushed to attend to Krathok, who would recover but whose undefeated record was now very definitely defeated. Elsie looked up at the observation deck and found Toby's face among the crowd. She didn't smile or wave. She just nodded once. A simple acknowledgement between two people from a world that had tried to kill them every single day they'd lived there. Later, in the medical bay where both fighters were being examined, a formality for Elsie, who had barely a scratch, the question started. "How did you move like that?" a Centaurian physician asked Scanner, hovering over Elsie's completely intact skeletal structure. "Training," Elsie said simply. "But the speed, the reaction time, Earth's wildlife is faster. And we don't have armor, so we learned not to get hit." The physician's three eyes blinked in sequence. "Your entire species evolved being hunted?" "We evolved doing the hunting," Elsie corrected. Everything else was just practice. Word spread through the station within hours, then through the sector, then beyond. The Deathworld girl who'd defeated a champion without enhancements, without weapons, without any of the advantages the galaxy considered necessary for combat. They were still reviewing the footage days later, frame by frame, trying to understand. Trying to quantify what couldn't be easily measured. Persistence, hunting, endurance. Pattern recognition shaped by tracking prey for days. Spatial awareness honed by avoiding predators, and the simple, terrifying ability to keep fighting when any reasonable species would surrender. Toby found Elsie on the observation deck, watching the stars. "You know they're calling you the Terran Phantom now, right?" he said. Elsie snorted. "Better than that crazy Deathworlder?" "Barely," Toby grinned. Then, more seriously, "Did you have to prove the point that hard?" Elsie was quiet for a moment. "Yeah," she finally said. "Because next time it might not be in an arena. Next time humans might need the galaxy to remember. We didn't crawl to the top of Earth's food chain by being weak. We did it by being absolutely, relentlessly, terrifyingly persistent." She turned to face him, and in her eyes, Toby saw the same determination that had carried humanity from the caves to the stars. "No one believed the Deathworld girl could fight," she said softly. "Now they know, and they'll think twice before testing another human." Behind them, through the reinforced glass, the galaxy turned. And somewhere on that turning, Earth spun on, still deadly, still dangerous, still home, still producing warriors who didn't need claws or armor or enhancements, just stubbornness, adaptability, and the unshakable knowledge that they'd survived worse.